Okay, welcome to the Accordion beginner course for B system accordions. So I will start with phase 1, and here is the document as you can see. And first of all, what is an accordion? Well, there are almost as many different accordions as there are people in the world, which is a joke. But here is what I'm talking about. This one, B system, and how you can see that it is a B system is the white buttons and the black goes like, the pattern goes like inwards. And there are B systems that only have 3 rows, like Bayans, and you have 4 rows, and you also have 6 rows. So the middle one is also duplicated for Serbian Balkan music. But any small 8 bass B system accordion can fit in this course. So let's see here. Okay, so that's the type of accordion that will fit in this course. So choosing an accordion, of course, is very easy. You have to choose the B system. So for this course, B system accordion. Okay, so the accordion anatomy. You have the right side, which is the bellow. No, the bellow. The melody side. And you have the mill, which is the bellow, the thing you pump, drag and push. And then you have the bass side. That's it. So, holding the accordion. So, okay, let's see. Just the camera. So you have straps that you have to adjust so it fits snug but not too tight or not too loose. And the way you sit with it is that the knees here should be 90 degrees. And I have a chair that I just put down when I play, like this. And then it's almost 90 degrees. And you should have your accordion into your stomach, and not like that, but like this. And most of the weight should be on the thigh, and then that is the left thigh, and the bellows here should be over the left thigh. So if you are, let's say, playing one note here, then you can see I'm not holding anything, so you just push one button and the bellow falls by itself downwards because of gravity. And then to push it in, you just push it in like that. But we have a bass strap, so you just put your hand inside and just let it be here, and it should go, the wrist should go through, so you can play with the little finger on the innermost row. So, and just have it in the middle. And you should not brace here with your thumb. You just the hand should be free, and the strap should be snug also, not that tight, because you have to move your hand sometimes up and down like this, but mostly so you don't, it's too loose. So if you're playing like this and you're pulling, and so there's like lag between when you are pushing and lag when you're pulling and pushing. Okay. So sitting, then you have your keyboard here against the other thigh. Sometimes I like to sit like this, but I always have the bellows above my left knee or on the left thigh. And you just sit with your straight back and relaxed, and you just have to adjust the straps so you find out. And in this course we will not go through how to stand and play, because when you are a beginner it gets too tiresome to stand. So just sitting for now, and we can go through the dock here. So we went through the anatomy, right side, melody, treble side, bellow, and the bass side. So next is the bellow basics, which I went through, and that also glides into producing your first sound. And as I said, just you don't need to have your left hand in the bellow strap, and you can just try pushing one button. And you should just push a button just enough to make a sound. You don't need to hit it, you just need to push it gently. And the bellow just falls by itself, so you don't need to pull it really hard. So if I'm not using any muscles in my left arm, but it's louder now because the weight of my arm is inside. And then you have to try to match the same volume when you are pushing. Out and in. So congratulations, your first note, your first sound. Okay, so hand position. This is important. You should not have your wrist like this. Then you can get carpal tunnel syndrome or wrist problems, wrist aches. And because your tendons have to travel longer and they are stretched here. It's like a rope being stretched over something, going back and forth. And I got that, and I had to wear a brace on my wrist for 1 month. And that was not good. So be careful with your wrist. So the hand position is, you just hold your fingers like that, just like you're holding a ball or something, or like a tiger claw almost. Should not be like real straight fingers like this. You should all a little bit like this, like this. If I play a scale. So yeah, not like this, but, and I'm playing like that. So just relax your hand and have your hand a little bit out from your elbow, a little bit out from your body. And a good way to make sure you do and not play like this is to sit, and if you have a chair, or like I do, I have this a rolling table which I can lock, and then I can just put that, adjust it where my elbow is a little bit out from my body like that, and if I'm going back like that, I can feel the table or the chair. Use the back of a tall chair, that's the best. And then you can have you should have your arms, elbows out. You should not be playing like that, but a little bit like that. Yeah, we just start here. So straight wrist, not that and not that, and fingers slightly curled like that. And then we have the finger numbers, so we can communicate that when I say 1, the thumb on both hands is 1, 2 is index, 3 the middle finger, 4 the ring finger, and 5 the pinky, little finger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on both hands. Okay, so phase 2. We are now in phase 2, your first songs. So to start, we just play simple melodies. And as a teacher, I sometimes just make up melodies for my students. We usually start by finding C or F, but here I have written C, so we just find C. And I can show you here. Take the camera a little bit closer, like that. Okay, so instead of C we can find F, because on the B system it's easier to start with F. So F is here. So we have those 3 white notes, and on the top you have the F. And for information and context, when we are going up, we are going towards the floor. When I say we are going down, we are going towards the ceiling. Because in a piano, when you play, you are going up when you're going to the right, and down when you're going left. Same with a guitar. So this is just turned 90 degrees. So down, up, opposite. So you have to get used to that. And we start with F here, and we just choose the clarinet register, the single 8-foot reed. If you have that, it looks like this, that, or you can use a combination if you have that. But the dot in the middle of those 3, the middle dot, in America it's called the middle register, or chorus, or clarinet in some parts of the world. So we start with this F with the thumb, and you see my elbow is a little bit out, the wrist is straight, and the fingers are curled. Even the thumb is curled a little bit. And now you can see how I'm pushing the button in. Not a lot. Just small, like that. And then we take the next one, which is G. This one, so here is the first melody. Those two. And that melody I just improvised, and you can just do what you want, but start slowly and try not to lift any other fingers when you are starting out now. So when you're starting with those two notes, F and G, don't let your fingers do all of this. Just let it just relax wherever they are. Thumb on the F, 1 on the F, and 2 on the G. So when I do this, don't put the thumb up in the air or whatever, just be completely relaxed like this. I just do this to relax, because if you're not relaxed, you can't do like this. So and then we can talk about the bellow when you are doing this. So you have these three notes here, F, G, and F. And let's do the bellows out. And when I play, I just leave my wrist in the middle of the bass here. I don't have it up here and I don't have it down here. I have it in the middle when you start out. And to find the air button here to take the bellow back, you do like that, and then you go back. And it's a good thing to find this and use that. And if you don't have that, which I doubt, but maybe, you can just push all the buttons in on the bass and just take it slowly back in or out if you want that. If you do it fast, you will get a horrible sound like this. So don't do that. Maybe on both sides like that, really slow. If you do it fast, you will get horrible sound. And I hate that. So please don't do that. I do it sometimes because everybody else did that when I started playing accordion. So I do it sometimes, but I try not to. It's a very bad habit and people don't like it. But if you want to wake somebody in the morning, then you can do this. That's a good technique. Okay. So that is F and G. And then we use the bellows out. And then same in. Perfect. And this is not like a piano, so you don't push hard to get a harder sound. You just pull or push harder. So, and you should not support your hand here to push or pull harder. If you feel that you need to have your hand here to support, then you are playing too loose with your straps, or your straps are too loose. So then you have to tighten the straps. And then that you have to figure out. So sometimes in the beginning, at least for children, it takes maybe a whole lesson or a whole day just to figure out the straps and be comfortable. But you are an adult, or at least a young adult or person, so I think you can manage yourself. You just have to try. And also, when you get into playing many weeks and months and years, you also have to adjust the straps, because your body change, the straps will change. If you have like leather straps, they will just expand and expand. So that's just normal. So you have to just figure that out, and it's not that hard. It shouldn't hurt. Nothing should hurt, but it will feel awkward at first. So like this accordion is really big, so it feels like I have a mini fridge on my lap. But you will get to know that. Okay, so I will just skip from the... I'll just skip all of this, read simple notes and quarter notes and all of that, to just go to the left hand for now. Many of you probably know a little bit of theory, and that I can explain in another video. So the left hand, so the goal is to understand the Stradella bass, and the bass system on the accordion is called a Stradella bass or standard bass, because it's the standard. And it's a little bit weird system, I might add. So I will show you how it works. So you have the air button here, which I always use because the bellow will always move a little bit. You see now it moves because of gravity, and there are some leaks in the voices or the bellows or whatever. So use this to go back. Okay, so in the bass here, no matter if you have a 120 bass like I have, or 96, 72, or even 8, there should be one button with a diamond in it, as you can see here. I can zoom in a little bit, and let's see. So you can see here that there's a diamond or a marking in the middle of the bass here, and that is your C. And to know that is a C, you can just try to find the C here, which is on the third row, the middle row, this one. So there's 2 black ones and then 2 white ones, and it's the second white one if you're going this direction. So then you can just try to play that. Yeah, it's the same. So that is the C. And this row here is called the fundamental row or the root note row. And on the 120 bass you have 6 rows. And we are on the 5th row here. And the C. And that we will play with finger number 4, which is the ring finger. So for now, your 4th finger is the root note finger. And on bigger accordions like mine, you also have a little bit concave buttons. You have one at the top. You can't see it almost, I think. It's hard to see. But it goes in so I can feel it. And then you have the C here. And then you have another mark button here. So you have 3 buttons if you have a bigger accordion, marked buttons. So the one we are looking for is in the middle, and that's the C. So if you're trying to find the C, it's this note. Na. Great. And then we have the other rows, and we will start with the major chord row, which is, if you see here, we have row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So on this 5 here, we have the fundamental row, the bass row, and on number 4 we have the major chords. And this button, as the name implies, is a chord. So here we have the C, the diamond with 4, and then you could just push it a little bit. You don't need to smack it, just. And of course the fingers on the bass side is also like you're holding a ball like this, just relaxing. And yeah, and the thumb just lives here. You can also use the thumb to play the outermost row with when you're playing. Yeah, but we will get to that in another video. So 4th on the fundamental, and then you have the 3rd here. So you can see it's kind of up and out. It's not straight out, it's like this. So my thinking, I think that is it's made that way because of how the fingers lay like this. So you can think that one column is like this. It goes like here and up diagonally. And that is how each column is made. So when you are at the C column, then you have your C major here. And you can play both of them, and you will hear that they fit together. So 4 and 3. Then you have your first umpa, like somebody call it umpa, some call it something else. Polka rhythm. At least you can just do like this. Many Americans I see choose to play with 3-2, which is no problem to do. One reason I think, and I may be wrong, but this is what I think, is that if you are playing and you don't have your accordion correctly on your person, maybe like this. So you're playing and you have your accordion like this, really exaggerated now, because the angle is weird, I can't play with the little finger on the inner row. So, and it's harder to do with the 4th also. So I think they play it with 3 and 2 instead of 4 and 3. That is just my working hypothesis or theory or whatever it's called, but I may be wrong. Also, that way is really common amongst beginners, because you do the 2-3, 2-3, and it's really easy because you're using your strongest fingers. And when you're choosing to go to the G for the other bass, you use the same finger. So the same finger for the basses and the same finger for the chord. So I think that is why, and it's nothing wrong with that, but I will like to start that you will start with the 4 and 3, because then you have more uses. So yeah, I think that is the best to begin with, because also you can train your weaker fingers. Then you have one finger above that is available and one finger under which is available, so you have available fingers to do whatever you want. Okay, so when you are finding this C, you have to do it by touch. So either if it's concave or if it's has a diamond like this, that is how you find it. And you just have to do like this and find it and find it and okay, there. And whenever I play something and don't use the bass, I just have my hand over the C button because then I know where I am. Or you can have it over the E, but I use here, and when I play and I'm done, I go to the air button, push it in and take the bellow in, and then I go back. So to go up here with the air button to push that in or flip it or whatever, and go down to the middle here again. Because if you have your hand up here, you will get a construed way of feeling the bass, because then you only get to be used to play up here, which you have to do sometimes, but you will mostly play around here. And it's good to practice to play here and then find your button and then go back and find the button again. And that is just feel the buttons like this, find it, okay, and then go up here and then go back. And if you are what's the word, clammy? No, I'm not sure. Which if there's some humidity in the air, your hand will get stuck to this, and maybe you can use, I used a sock that just cut out the toes and just had it over so that doesn't get stuck. But in the beginning, yeah, you can just go up, up, yeah, just experiment with that. Okay, so then we have the C, and then we have the F and G in the treble side, the right side. So now we are trying to play with both hands. Let's see, where's the document? Here, okay. So playing with both hands. So we found C here and the C major chord, but for now we are going one button down, and you use the same finger, both the same finger, just go straight down to towards the floor, and we are going to play F and F major. And a good exercise to begin with before we are starting playing with both hands is just to play like 1, 2, 3, 4, out with the bellows and then in with the bellows. Like that. Okay. Now we have like a little bit here and a little bit here. So how to coordinate with both hands? Well, let's try to do this. So we have the F, G, then we have the A, and right above it, towards the floor, we have the C. And we will play the C with the fourth finger and the A here with the third finger. And now if we play fourth on both sides with the F fundamental root note and the C here with the fourth, and then we change to the third finger on both sides, and you just try to do that, and then in with the bellow, and play the same articulation, meaning the same length of holding the button down and releasing. same length. You can do it slow also, like this, legato, longer notes. And then you can try to hold the C here over the F and the F major chord, like this. And try inwards with the bellow. You can also just hold the melody all the time and just have like a bellow shake or bellow switching. That is harder. And if you're going to do that, then this hand should be really loose. And if you feel like you have to push extra hard on the button to hold the accordion steady, then your straps are too loose. Okay, so this and in. And both hands relaxed. And then you can try to change to the A with the third finger. Or maybe switch. Or the opposite. You could just improvise. And yeah, that's a good start. So that is like the polka or the umpa way of playing, the ump and pa, like this I think it's written. You have the which is the bass, and the pa, which is the chord. And in the waltz rhythm, it's also called pa. I'm not sure if there's H after, but pa pa. So it's pa pa, pa. And in the waltz, the is slightly longer. And sometimes some people play it with it close until the chord, or sometimes there is a little pause. But you can hear the first is a little bit longer, and the two pa pa is like played on a guitar, which is really da da, like. And even if the notation says just regular quarter notes without staccato markings, which means it's staccato markings is just a dot that means short. It's played like this, even with or without articulation signs, or markings. So that's the umpa. And the march bass here is the same as the polka almost. Sometimes you're just having the chord and the bass at the same time, like this. So that's the only difference. And and this phases here, what I have written here, I have had all of my books that I have, physical and electronic books, PDFs. I maybe have 100, and I took all of them into ChatGPT and made ChatGPT make me this document here, which are the phases of what to learn. And I have just jumped over the reading notes because I like just to start playing straight away. When I started, I didn't play any or I didn't read any notes. So I just want to start playing. So this is like my attempt at doing that. So okay, we had the left. So I will just jump over anything I don't want to say straight away now. So the march bass, I don't think we need to talk about that yet. So, but okay, alternating bass. So you have heard this umpa, this umpa, umpa, but it's really boring to play umpa with only one bass. So we alternate by changing the bass. Bum, bum. So I can show you how we are doing that and the fingering. So let's take the camera a little bit more down, like that. So you first find the C here, and in this example we will go down to the F again. So with the 4 and the 3, like this. And now you have your index 3, number 2. So after this chord, you can play the C that is marked with the second finger. And then you go back to the chord again, like that. And now I'm just doing this with my fingers so you can see the buttons, but this is how it would look if I'm not thinking about showing you, just playing. So you see they are close, but I'm not holding this. It's like a triangle. I'm not holding this triangle all the time. You can see that when I play the chord, my finger just go back to where they usually are, like in the air. And you see same with this. The third finger here just, because when you have big fingers like me, they tend to get stuck with each other if it's humid. So you just have to get the fingers out of each other's way. So this alternating umpa pattern you can do everywhere. You can just move it up to C, or you can move it down below the F to B flat, or you can go above the C to G and to D. It's the same pattern wherever you are. So that's the alternating bass umpa pattern. So I have written a steady tempo. That's really important. So you have to maybe play with a backing track or find a metronome to play with and just keep a steady tempo. And that is like simple accompaniment pattern. Okay, playing complete songs. I will not go through that now, but this was an introduction to the B system accordion. And I am doing more of these presentations or going through different phases and talking about them. And I have my own school community, Accordion Time, which the link is down below in the description and in the comments for you to come and visit my free community. There you can talk with me and the other people in the community. I think we are up to 67 people now, or something like that, maybe 70. So that's it.